Hey everyone, welcome back to English Simplified channel. In today's video, we're going to dive into a specific and sometimes tricky aspect of English grammar, using the word having at the beginning of a sentence. This is a powerful tool that can make your writing and speaking sound more advanced and natural. To make sure you fully understand this topic, our discussion is divided into Section 1, what does having mean in this context? Section 2, common structures of having. Section 3, meaning or alternative structures using after. Section 4, how and when to use it. Section 5, common mistakes to avoid. Section 6, practice exercises. And in the end, as usual, we make a conclusion. Let's begin. Section 1, what does having mean in this context? First, let's clarify what having means when it's at the start of a sentence. In this context, having is often used to introduce a participle clause, which provides extra information about the subject or the action of the sentence. It's usually related to time or cause and effect. Section 2, common structures of having. When having is used at the beginning of a sentence, it can introduce either an active or a passive participle clause. Here's how to distinguish between the two. 1. Having in active participle clauses. These clauses describe an action performed by the subject of the main clause. Structure: having past participle, active voice. Example 1. Active voice. Having finished the report, John submitted it to his boss. Explanation: John finished the report, active action, and then he submitted it. Example 2. Active voice. Having completed her workout, Maria felt energized for the day. Explanation: Maria completed her workout, active action, and then she felt energized. 2. Having in passive participle clauses. These clauses describe an action experienced by the subject of the main clause. Structure: having been past participle, passive voice. Example 1. Passive voice. Having been advised by her doctor, she changed her diet. Explanation: she was advised by her doctor, passive experience, and then she changed her diet. Example 2 voice. Having been informed of the changes, the team adjusted their plans. Explanation: the team was informed of the changes, passive experience, and then they adjusted their plans. So, what is the difference when having is used in active or passive participle clauses? Here they are. Active participle clauses focus on the subject actively performing the action. Passive participle clauses focus on the subject receiving or experiencing the action. Example comparison. Active: having repaired the car, Tom took it for a drive. Explanation: Tom performed the action of repairing the car. Passive: having been repaired by Tom, the car was ready for a drive. Explanation: the car received the action of being repaired by Tom. You get it, don't you? Well, let's continue to Section 3. Meaning or alternative structures. Using after. You might also hear or use after to convey a similar sequence of events. For example, having finished my homework, I went out to play. Rewritten with after. After I finished my homework, I went out to play. Having eaten breakfast, he left for work. Rewritten with after he ate breakfast, he left for work. While both structures convey the same idea, having can give a more formal or elegant tone, whereas after is more straightforward and common in everyday conversation. Section 4. How and when to use it. Now let's talk about when you should use having this way. It's perfect for 1. Showing cause and effect. Example: having studied all night, she was too tired to concentrate during the exam. 2. Indicating a sequence of events. Example: having eaten breakfast, he left for work. 3. Expressing a condition. Example: having received the necessary training, she felt confident in her new role. Notice how the having clause gives us background information before introducing the main idea. Section 5. Common mistakes to avoid. One common mistake is forgetting to match the subject of the having clause with the subject of the main clause. For example, having finished dinner, the TV was turned on. This sentence is incorrect because the TV can't be the subject of this sentence. Simply say, the TV can't do dinner, can it? So to correct this sentence, it should be, having finished dinner, we turned on the TV. The subject we should be the same for both the having clause and the main clause. Alright, this is section 6, practice exercises. Let's practice together. I'll give you a few sentences and you try to rephrase them using having at the beginning or after if you prefer. I completed the project and then I submitted it. Your answer might be, having completed the project, I submitted it. Or after I completed the project, I submitted it. What about this? She packed her bags and then she left for the airport. Write your answers in the comments below. I'll be reading through them and giving feedback. Finally, this is the last section. Conclusion, you have to bear these in mind. 1. Having is often used to introduce a participle clause, which provides extra information about the subject or the action of the sentence. It's usually related to time or cause and effect. 2. It can introduce either an active or a passive participle clause. 3. The subject of the having clause and the subject of the main clause are similar. And there you have it. Using having at the beginning of a sentence can really elevate your English and make your communication more dynamic. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more English language tips. Drop your questions in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.